Attention is not the destination, it's only the admission ticket. Should stop thinking in campaigns and they should start thinking in momentum. Heroes, yeah, I would say they save quarters, but systems, that's what builds decades. And I would say AI is not making marketing worse. It's exposing marketers. The future won't reward those companies with the biggest or the most important AI. It will reward the companies with the strongest point of view. Trust is becoming the scarcest asset.
Welcome back to Goodfirms Podcast, conversations that matter. Every CEO claims they want growth, but most end up with a fragmented tax that eats 40% of their budget. Today, we're joined by Vany Sawma, head of Grow at InTouch, and we're diving into why the traditional marketing campaign is dead, why Rockstar marketers are a liability without a system, and how AI is actually making most brands noisier, not better. So, Vany, welcome to the show.
Everyone is actually talking about AI, about content, about automation, but I actually think what they're talking about is something else. The real question here is how do companies actually remain relevant in a world where everyone can actually create, publish, and advertise? I'm talking about AI specifically. And that's what I'd love to explore today.
Excellent. Well, Vany, let's start with a reality check here. You've said 90% of modern marketing is just expensive noise. If companies don't lack ambition, why is the output so ineffective?
Well, I think marketing has developed a dangerous addiction
Mhm.
recently. We celebrate activity, but we do not celebrate progress in many areas. Campaign launches, impressions, engagements, all these are metrics that are treated as victories in many areas, while the CEO is always asking, okay, why aren't we growing? Attention is not the destination, it's only the admission ticket. That's what we keep saying to marketing managers. You grab the attention, great. Now they're admitted. What's next? What happens after someone notices you? Do they trust you? Do they remember you? Do they recommend you? Do they actually buy from you? Well, at InTouch, what we do is we spend much less time asking how do we get more people to see us. And we spend much more time asking what happens after they do. Attention is easy to buy, remember that, but trust is much harder to earn.
Yeah, well said. And you've called for a campaign funeral. I like that phrase here. That's a heavy statement, for CMOs who live by their quarterly launches. So why is relying on campaigns actually a growth trap?
Well, actually, I don't believe campaigns are dead. Campaigns are not dead, but companies have become more addicted to them. Imagine treating your friendship, for example, like marketing campaigns. You disappear for 6 months, and then suddenly you show up after with flowers at the door or whatever. Customers experience brands continuously. They need to see the brand continuously, not campaign by campaign. This is a momentum that's grown from one campaign to the other over a strategy over the period of a whole year, and then so on and so forth. So companies should stop thinking in campaigns and they should start thinking in momentum because campaigns can create momentum, but then momentum must create the business.
Yeah, well said there. And I hadn't thought about that of a campaign your clients only seeing you every so often. And then you show it with flowers. I like that analogy. Let's talk about the mediocrity trap. What is one industry best practice that is actually a total waste of time and money?
Well, I would say chasing certainty.
Mm.
Companies, they copy competitors,
Mhm.
and many do that because they feel safe. They go with the same channels,
Mhm.
the same formats, with the same even AI prompts. I would say that confidently nowadays. The better question should not be what everyone is doing. It's what do we believe that others haven't noticed yet. The market rarely rewards the safest ideas. Remember that. People run by safest ideas because they want things to go safe. The market does not reward that. It rewards the clearest one, the clearest ideas.
Yeah. All right. I got a tough one for you here. If you had to fire either your entire creative team or your entire data team to save a failing system, who would go?
Argument itself. I've been asked this question before. I mean, the question itself falls in a nature where it's like asking, do we want a pilot or a cockpit? Well, you want both. We can't fly without them. Creative people, what they do is they imagine possibilities.
Mhm.
Well, data comes in to help us understand what's the reality. Data explains the past, in fact, but creative people and creativity defines the future. Growth happens in between when both work together. So, in a nutshell, I would say data explains the past, creativity creates the future, and growth happens in between.
All right, and neither are getting fired.
Now,
Okay.
you can't.
Great answer there. You saved yourself there. All right. You mentioned a fragmented tax. How much are companies actually losing when their strategy, communication and performance are disconnected?
They're losing big time because nowadays companies do not have a marketing problem, I would say. Everybody's doing marketing. I've never seen a business moving without marketing and marketing efforts. But what they do have, they have a translation problem. You know why? Because marketing by itself, it speaks impression. Sales, for example, impressions, engagements, or whatever. Sales, they speak figures, they speak pipeline in our line of business. Finance, they speak margins and revenue, while the CEO speaks growth. If these are not connected together, the company is losing big time. They're all talking about the same business, huh? But from a different perspective in different languages. And that's the hidden tax. Every meeting becomes a negotiation instead of a decision that will grow the company and that setup. Every dashboard, it starts trying to tell a different story instead of actually giving insights for a better decision. And every department believes it's winning while the business is quietly losing. And that's the biggest thing we've seen over and over. The faster growing companies are not the ones that are always smarter. They're simply agreed on one definition of success. That's what makes them grow big time. So most companies don't lose to competitors, while in fact they actually lose to the internal friction that their own teams face on day-to-day basis.
Mm.
That's the hidden tax.
Yeah, that's interesting there. Great insight. Now, you've made the case for systems over superstars. Why is a mediocre marketer with a great system more valuable than a rock star with no process?
Well, actually, Laura, to start with, I don't believe anymore in marketing rock stars, unfortunately. Um, they usually leave,
Hmm.
unfortunately. And they leave for multiple different reasons. But as soon as they grow in one place, they actually decide to leave. Or worse, they stay, but everyone starts depending on them
Mm.
instead of depending on a system. And for me, that's not scale. That's organizational depth at its best. That's its depth. And companies, they don't build around exceptional people nowadays. It used to be like that, no more.
Hmm.
They build environments where ordinary people consistently produce exceptional outcomes. That's the key. Heroes, yeah, I would say they save quarters, but systems, that's what builds decades. And the best systems are the ones that keep working when everybody's on vacation or when your hero people are on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. Great talk there, and thoughts. Let's talk about AI because we mentioned this in the beginning. You said AI is actually making some brands worse. How is the rush for volume backfiring?
Well, I would say AI is not making marketing worse. It's exposing marketers who've never had a strategy to begin with. So before AI, mediocre marketing people could hide, or marketing agencies could hide. They could hide behind production times, behind multiple reasons. Today, everyone can create content. And that's the shift. That's where people start becoming exposed. So production is no longer the competitive advantage. The competitive advantage is, in fact, judgment. So AI didn't lower the bar, it removed those excuses that marketing people could give. So when everyone can create, the winner, is actually the one who knows what deserves creating. It's not the one who can create great stuff. It's knowing, it's that piece of knowledge. And that's the fact.
All right. In 5 years, Vany, will the head of growth even have a desk, or will an AI integrated system handle 80% of the strategy?
Ah, yeah, the title will survive, no worries. I'm not worried about our kind of role. Any business will continue to seek growth, but the job itself is changing dramatically. The change is becoming different. How we used to grow our business 5 years ago is completely different nowadays. So 5 years from now, I think nobody will pay senior leaders to manage those campaigns. Those people will be paid to decide, and that's the key word, decide whether the company should grow, in what opportunities to grow, and which opportunities, far more importantly, to ignore, and when to completely change or shift direction, have a pivot strategy, have anywhere that shifts depending on the fast changing markets around us. So AI, yes, it's executing brilliantly, it's showing great skills. We're loving that in many areas, but humans decide what deserves execution. AI is still not there, and I strongly believe that's not going to be the case in the near future. It's a very different job from what it used to be. So execution is becoming very much automated. It's removing the legwork, but judgment is becoming a premium here.
And that kind of leads into my next question here. So is human led strategy going to be a luxury premium or just an expensive bottleneck?
Ah, well, no, it's not becoming a premium. Humanity is not becoming a premium because people are emotional. It's becoming premium because humans are unpredictable. That's what we need to understand. AI, the power of it is that it learns from the past, it learns from yesterday. But great businesses, they don't just learn from yesterday, they invent tomorrow. Every breakthrough idea, it looked irrational before it looked obvious. That's still a uniquely human advantage, huh? We can use AI to predict, but the human advantage is there. The future won't reward those companies with the biggest or the most important AI. It will reward the companies with the strongest point of view. Okay? So, in a nutshell, yes, AI scales knowledge, but humans are the one who create the meaning, and it will remain.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So how is InTouch moving, past the faster content use case to actually using AI, for real-time pivots?
Yeah, this is the question that we're continuously using is how are we using AI? And I think that's the wrong question. The better question nowadays to be asked is how are decisions being affected because of AI? Well, at InTouch, AI is not our strategist. It plays multiple roles, assisting us in multiple roles. It doesn't play a major role, but it's not definitely none of our strategist team. It's our radar. We use it to read stuff and in speeds that human cannot meet nowadays. So these stuff that we usually read are signals like buyer intents, leadership changes, how are companies hiring patterns changing, the search behaviors, the competitive shifts. All of these are signals that we help that are being assisted to be read by AI. But those signals don't actually make the decisions. Okay? Those make us or help us make better decisions. The real value is not in producing content faster, it's in reducing the time between what the market is telling us and how we're responding. The companies that win won't be the ones who are actually using the biggest AI or the best AI. They'll be the ones learning the fastest. And this is why we believe, yes, AI gives us speed, but judgment that's being made by humans in successful companies, it's what's gonna give us direction and success.
Yeah, well said there. A lot of wisdom for other companies to take in and consider about their processes. And why, do you think CEOs keep pouring money into performance marketing when they know their foundation is broken? Is it just a lack of courage?
I think that most of CEOs are actually admitted to certainty, but not to performance marketing. Performance dashboards would feel more comforting for CEOs because they're measurable. But measurable doesn't always mean that it's meaningful. You know, if customers don't trust the positioning or understand the value or remember the brand, Buying more traffic in that case would be like pouring water into a leaking bucket. Sometimes the bravest investment isn't more media budget. It's admitting that the story itself isn't strong enough. Performance amplifies whatever foundations that already exists, in a summary.
Yeah, addicted to certainty. I like that. That's a good phrase there to think about. And if a CEO, gave you 30 days to prove a systemic approach works, what is the one sacred cow you would kill first?
Yeah, I would definitely don't wouldn't think about killing a channel. I would kill the annual marketing plan thing. It's so heavy nowadays that it's no longer applicable on ground. Marketers are required to be shifting and agile on daily basis while they still deal with annual long period marketing plans. Okay? So markets no longer want to wait for a 12 months marketing plan. Customers don't want to wait. AI definitely doesn't wait, and competitors are definitely not waiting. But you still see many companies planning to go for longer term plans and waiting for plans to be redrafted a few months later. I'd replace the actual annual certainty with continuous adaptation, with a more agile approach. I would build a rhythm of learning, of deciding, of improving every week. And that's a major corporate shift. Biggest corporations wait for decisions to be made month to month, semester to semester, or year to year. That must change because clarity compounds much faster than campaigns. And adaptation, yes, sure, it's becoming more of a competitive edge rather than a commodity.
Yeah, and finally here, Vani, what is one truth about the future of growth that most organizations are currently ignoring?
Well, I think what most organizations or people are missing is the fact that AI won't be replacing agencies, and it will not replace marketers, and it will not even replace strategy. What it will replace is everything that's average. It will replace average writing, average campaigns, average thinking. In other words, the middle grounds is disappearing. And when everyone has access to the same technology, you have to start knowing or thinking that advantage is shifting. It's shifting to conviction. The brands that stand for something clear, learn faster, make better decisions will be the ones who will create growth. And the future belongs to those companies that are more focused and more visible. This is why I would always say and remind everyone that attention is abundant. Trust is becoming the scarcest asset across in business.
All right, Vinny, this is our Good Firms rapid fire round. Give us just the first thing that comes to mind. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I was born ready.
All right. One word to describe the current state of marketing.
Loud. Very loud.
What's more dangerous, no data or too much data?
Too much data.
The most,
I mean, you can survive uncertainty, but you cannot survive analysis paralysis.
I like it. The most overrated marketing metric in the C suite.
Impressions, because nobody actually deposits impressions in the bank. I would say if the best marketing KPI makes the CFO yawn, that's probably the wrong KPI.
All right. Can AI ever replace a brand's soul?
No, never.
Yeah.
AI can imitate a voice, but it can't create conviction.
Yeah. What's the first thing you check when a growth engine stalls?
The customer
Okay.
or the client, depending on the business. I mean, I wouldn't go and check the dashboard. The dashboard tells us what happened, but customers are the ones who tell us why.
Yeah. The AI verdict. Is AI currently creating more marketing geniuses or more lazy marketers?
Neither, I would say. What AI is doing is actually it's exposing the difference. It's not creating geniuses. It's actually removing all those hiding places.
Yeah. All right. Tool overload. What is one marketing automation tool everyone uses that you secretly think is useless?
I won't name the names, of course. someone selling them might be watching this now, but I would say in a nutshell that, or in general, it's that tool that nobody knows why they're still paying for.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that's available. One tool out of these is available in every company.
Yep. All right, the final word. Sum up the secret to sustainable growth in exactly 3 words.
I would say learn, adapt, and make it matter.
All right. Well, Vany, thanks for being so candid. If our audience wants to connect with you or learn more about InTouch's approach, where should they go?
Well, they can surely visit our official website. It's intouchmina.com or our LinkedIn. You can reach out from there, from the website or our social channels.
All right. For those listening, if your marketing feels like expensive noise, it's time to look at the system. Thank you for listening to the Good Firms podcast. Until next time, keep focusing on the conversations that matter.